Lords, I rise very briefly to support Amendment 183, and my background in this actually goes back to March 2020, in those very difficult, scary days of the early days of the pandemic, when your Lordship's House was operating on a skeleton crew. That led to me, as a very, very new peer, to be actually moving the amendment to the coronavirus regulations that would have allowed telemedicine to come in. And I have to say that I thank the Noble Lady Baroness Barker, who I note has signed this amendment, for very much supporting me through that process, because I had very little idea what I was doing in terms of the issues of your Lordship's House. But I think it is worth noting that we were doing that then in part because of an acknowledgement that women wouldn't have access otherwise to the necessary medical service of an abortion, but also because we knew that NHS resources were going to be enormously stretched. We are, of course, still in a situation where NHS resources are enormously stretched. Earlier, we were talking about the Ukraine refugees that we're going to be welcoming here and talking about the medical services they need. Now, of course, we want to say that we want to give this area of medicine, women need all the services that we should be putting all the NHS resources needed, the services that the women need. But the fact is that the evidence is overwhelmingly that telemedicine abortion is giving women a better service. And I want to pick up the point from the Right Reverend Prelate talking about concerns about women who there may be safeguarding concerns. Well, there is actually evidence that, particularly from MSI Reproductive Choices, reporting a major uplift in safeguarding disclosures, including from survivors and domestic of sexual abuse, with telemedicine. And if we look at the medical side of this, there is a very simple, clear fact. Since telemedicine has been introduced, complication rates from abortion have fallen by 20%. And you don't, of course, just have to listen to me on this. Permanent provision of abortion telemedicine is supported by the 8 Royal Colleges and Medical Societies, including the Royal College of GPs, the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynaecologists, the Royal College of Midwives, and the British Medical Association. I would also point out that abortion telemedicine is going to continue in Wales and Scotland based on the evidence. So, my Lords, I think the arguments from the evidence are simply overwhelming. This is the best option.